Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got another Washington Commanders weekly stream, and today we're going to be previewing the Washington Commanders versus Atlanta Falcons Week 12, I believe, matchup. And I will have my guy Juan Gotti on here. Just he'll be here in a little bit. So make sure you guys subscribe to him and subscribe to me, trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's going to be tight, but I believe I'm about 630 away or 530 away. So try to get me there. Would really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. Luke Skywalker's missing hand. What's up? Flammery, Brush the Four. Let's see. Brian, my guy, now or never, the In Command podcast, and Rashad. Appreciate all you guys coming through. So let's always wait for some more people to get in here. Just go through kind of housekeeping. You like talk about the guys that are in for this game, the guys that are out. Made a video about it, but Cole Holcomb placed on IR, so he will not be playing this week or the next 3 games after that. So I believe the earliest he could come back is week 15 or week 16, because I think it's week 16 because he misses this week, which is 12. He's going to miss 13. The bye doesn't count because it's not a game. And then he'll miss 15 and week 12, week 13, 15 and 16. So it's going to be a while before he comes back. Might only be back for the last, week 17 and week 18. Unfortunate, but it is what it is at this point. The Commanders defense has been playing fine, without him. They've been playing, better than fine. They've been playing really well. And we'll see what happens if Cole Holcomb comes back. Brush the Four says, "You think Cole Holcomb's going to return for the season?" Honestly, I don't know, because they originally didn't really think it was going to be that big of a deal. That's why they didn't put him on IR. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I really don't know. If he's not, though, the other guys behind him will have to step up. Let's see. I'm gonna be live tomorrow for the game. Make sure you guys tune in. Bet, appreciate it. Let's see. Luke Skywalker says, "Hey Pedro, what TV service do you live or use? I live in Anne Arundel County and I don't get home games. I use Sling, and I just use to watch the Fox games. But there's a lot of sites, guys. If you just look it up, that they might be a little bit shady, but you just got to click X out a few ads and you can watch all the games for free. There's a bunch of sites there. I know some people here know them. You guys can type it in the chat. But yeah, so Cole Holcomb's out. Benjamin St. Juice is out. That sucks. Hopefully, he's going to be fine for next week. But at least the Falcons aren't amazing. They don't have amazing receivers. Drake London's good, but besides that, they really don't have anyone. So, you get Kendall Fuller, should be able to lock him down. And besides that, they should be good to go. And yeah, Brush the Four. That's a site I use, and it's great. It's great, for sure. We'll get the predictions a little bit later in this stream. Let's see. Calling it now, Jahan returning a punt tomorrow. I mean, it could happen. I mean, him, Danny Johnson, they elevated Alex Erickson, so he probably could do it too. That was something that people were debating early on in the offseason. A lot of people thought he was going to make the roster. I did when we signed him. I thought he was going to make it, but he didn't. So he'll probably be the punt returner, and he probably won't do much. Just do the same thing Dax Milne does. Just catch it, and if you need to, you can return it. But that's kind of my thoughts there. And yeah, Dax Milne, speaking of returners, Dax Milne is out for this game. So it sucks, but it is what it is. What's up, Sergio? He's an asset in the return game. He's all right. He's done what we needed him to do this year. He has not fumbled at all, and he gets you 5, 7, 8 yards every time, which is pretty solid. And he wasn't great as a kick returner, but as a punt returner, he's pretty solid in my opinion. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, he doesn't really do much as a receiver. He did have a touchdown though in that Minnesota Vikings game. And Heineke is starting now or never. Heineke will likely start for the rest of the year unless he loses that job with his performance. So if he has a couple bad games and that's the reason the Commanders lose, then they'll probably put in once. But for this game, this game we have Heineke as a starter and Howell as the backup, and Carson Wentz will be inactive. They have yet to activate him off IR, but they did start the 21 day window. Dylan says, "Will Chase Young play?" I mean, he's questionable, but if I had to bet on it, I'll say yes. But I've said yes for a while now, and he hasn't been back. So I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What's up, Duncan? My guy, he says, "How do you feel about Heineke being named starter?" Honestly, I like it, and until we lose, or he starts to become the reason we lose, I don't think we should bench him. I think he should continue to be that guy. I appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Juan?
You can you can hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize. All right, what's going on, man? I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So how you doing? Good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I hope everything's well with you. And
Yep, pretty
hopefully you
good. And
good as
yeah,
well.
just ready for this game right here tomorrow. Hope we get to that 3-game win streak again. And yeah, make sure you guys sub up Juan. Brian, if you can put that link in the chat, I'll try to get it in the description later on. But also, you guys can hit that title button or his name on the title. Subscribe to the channel on the road to 5K.
Yes, sir.
Let's get him there by the end of the year for sure. So. Let's see. So we kind of talked about the injuries. We got Benjamin St-Juste out, Cole Holcomb out, Dax Milne out, and then I think Logan Thomas is questionable, but he's expected to play. That's what John Kines said on his podcast. Chase Young, I mean, what do you think? Do you think Chase will play? I think this is the first. I mean, I've kind of felt like he was gonna play like every week, at least early on in the week. Early on in the Eagles week, I thought he was gonna play. Early on in the Texans game or week, I thought he was gonna play. This is the latest I've gone without being like, okay, he's not gonna play. So there's a shot he plays tomorrow.
Yeah. Honestly, this is the first time we've been thinking he was going to play since they started his 21-day window. But this is like the first week where we haven't really heard any news about him, like not looking good throughout the week. We've heard all positive stuff. So I feel like this is like the first time this year, again, since we activated his window, that it's a real shot that he plays. Now, it is supposed to, last time I checked, it was 100% rain tomorrow. But I don't know if it went down or anything. Yeah, I can actually look that up here like right now. But I definitely saw that it was a chance of like a lot of rain. So I'm not sure if that plays into their decision or factor of him playing. But yeah, I'm with you. This is like the first time, like so far this year, that it is a real shot that he plays tomorrow. And again, that video that we saw earlier in the week was like the first time I actually see him really put real pressure, run kind of semi full speed, cutting and turning on that knee, and he actually looked pretty solid. So I definitely am interested. I think he plays. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he plays, barring any real real rain. So it looks like it's still 100% rain tomorrow, but that is like around 4 a.m. I don't see any time for like kickoff or anything. Let's see if I can go to like kickoff. Yeah, so like around 12 p.m. tomorrow is still 95% chance of rain. So that definitely could play into their decision whether they want to play him or not. But yeah, as of right now, I'm gonna go on a limb and says he plays.
Yeah, I agree. I think he plays, and I think Ron even said that the rain will not affect the decision. So that's interesting right there. And also, one thing that is that maybe will affect their decision. And ARW1 right here underscore AG or JW5 says, "Do you think Chase plays in New York because their field caused a lot of injuries?" Well, I still think it won't affect their decision, but that definitely could. And if you're going to keep Chase Young out this week, you might as well keep him out next week because he's going to be playing at MetLife, and also it's right before the bye. So, if you really don't want to play him this week, don't play him next week because of the MetLife thing, which is a real deal. But I don't know, he just tore his ACL, so I don't really think he'll tear it again. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think it's more that he'll have that extra week with the bye to come back. But I think it'll be this week. I think he'll get I think they said something like 12 to 16 snaps. So hopefully he gets like 15 snaps. And then against New York, up by 10 snaps, get that to 25. And then he has the bye. And then coming off the bye, he should be close to 100%. And that would be amazing to play the Giants against Andrew Thomas and have Chase Young at 100%. So that's what I'm hoping happens. And yeah, I hope he plays this week. And then also the other injuries, St. Juice, Holcomb, and Dax Milne. Do you have any thoughts on those?
Yeah, so hold on, let me go ahead, and I didn't know my mic wasn't on. Let me go ahead and switch to my mic right quick. Okay, so yeah, I have thoughts on the St. Juice injury. Honestly, like the Cole Holcomb one is pretty scary, but I mean, we kind of realized that it was something serious after he missed the first 2 games. But to hear that he's already missed 3 games and it's not getting better, now he's on IR and he's going to be missed a mandatory of 4 weeks. That kind of puts his season in jeopardy, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say his season may be done, at least for the regular season. I'm assuming that we may have a chance to go to the playoffs. He may be able to come back. I don't know, though, but I'm thinking Cole Holcomb's 2022 season is over, and that sucks for him because he's playing on a contract year, and we need Cole Holcomb, man. The earliest he could possibly return is January 1st versus the Browns, but we'll see. But again, to hear that it's not getting better is definitely concerning. And then the Benjamin St. Juice injury, it does suck. But the bright spot about his injury is that at least the next 2 teams that we face before the bye week aren't really wide receiver heavy. So if it was a time for St. Juice to miss games, it would definitely be these 2 coming up. So I think they're gonna. He's obviously not playing tomorrow. I think they shouldn't play him next week either. Let him get he already basically is gonna miss this game. So that's 2 weeks. Give him 3 weeks to heal up that ankle, and let him be ready to rock and roll versus the Giants the second time. So yeah, those are my my thoughts on the injuries. Cole Holcomb one is the one I'm really concerned about, but
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. What's up, DeAndre Taylor, Nelbert Joe, Phillip, King Sean, my guys. So I think that, yeah, the Cole Holcomb injury sucks, but they've been playing well without him. St. Juice, yeah, it looks like an ankle sprain, like Armin Brown said. So he should be fine. But, it would be nice to have him against Drake London because I feel like he would really, really succeed against Drake London because Drake London does have good length, but so does Benjamin St. Juice. And, Benjamin St. Juice isn't really the fastest guy, but Drake London isn't either. So I feel like he would match up really, really well with him. And, yeah, I think that would work really well for them. But I think Kendall Fuller will be able to do fine. He's a savvy veteran, and Drake London's a rook. So he'll probably be able to kind of play some tricks on him, hopefully. And no one else, like literally besides Cordell Patterson and Drake London, no one on that offense remotely scares me. Like Drake London doesn't scare me. He's good. Cordell Patterson does scare me a little bit, but this defensive line should be good against them. So, yeah, the Benjamin St. Juice injury is a little unfortunate, but, if he can't play this week, maybe he comes back next week. But like you said, the Giants, their receiving corps is probably the worst in the league. Like Darius Slayton is their only okay receiver. Besides that, they literally have practice squad receivers. Like, Richie James, David Stills, I don't know, like a bunch of nobodies. Like besides Darius Slayton, a bunch of nobodies. So, and Odell isn't going to be there for our first matchup against them. So if he signs with the Giants. So yeah, the Benjamin St. Juice injury sucks because he's our best corner. He's been playing well, but I trust Kendall Fuller to be able to do fine. And yeah, I mean, Christian Holmes could be on the outside. You could have Danny Johnson. Honestly, I think the likely corner is probably Danny Johnson on the outside. It'll be Danny Johnson, Bob McCain, and then you have Kendall Fuller. But they could play Christian Holmes. One of those two, I think, that definitely could happen for sure. And yeah, that injury is a little concerning. Cole Holcomb, same thing, but they've been playing fine without him. Jamin Davis has been playing solid, so hopefully he's fully ready to go the last couple of weeks of the season. But honestly, we have no idea because they really haven't set a diagnose. They don't have a diagnosis, or they haven't like reported that, or have set a timetable or anything. So we honestly have no idea about that injury. And then Dax Milne, no idea as well. But he's not a huge loss. He's been good as a returner, hasn't fumbled, but I think we'll be fine without him. Just Alex Erickson, Jahan Dotson, whoever, just do what Dax Milne's been doing. Just fair catch it, let the offense do what they need to do. So those are kind of the injuries. The Falcons, I really didn't look at their injury report. I know Kyle Pitts is out for the year. They put a D tackle on IR. Did you see any other injuries?
No, I saw someone with a toe. But I could definitely I could definitely pull it up here right now though. But the only injury, I don't know if that's the guy that you were talking about that got put on IR, but I did see someone with a toe injury. AJ Terrell, he should be playing, right? I didn't hear anything about him being on the
Yeah, I think he's playing.
injury report or anything, but I can definitely pull it up here right now and see if it's anybody. I'm pretty sure it's no one significant though, because they would have been put that out. No, although Marcus Mariota he's not 100%. I think he is dealing with some rib injury, so if we're able to get to him, he could definitely be banged up. Let's see. Anybody? No. So the only person that's going to be out is the D tackle. I think that you already said they put on IR, the one with the toe. He's doubtful, so he's the only one that's pretty much not going to play. Offensive tackle Chuma Adoga, he has a knee injury. He's limited all week, but he's questionable. Pretty sure he plays. Arnold Ebikite, he's the linebacker dealing with the arm injury, just the arm injury. Now, I don't want to underestimate an arm injury, but I don't think it's anything significant. So, and he's limited all week. He's questionable. Then Caleb Huntley, running back, ankle, limited all week. He's questionable. Think he plays. Felipe Franks, tight end, calf, limited all week. Think he plays. They're already without Kyle Pitts for the remainder of the year, so they can't ill afford to lose any other tight end. So I think Felipe Frank, he is going to play. What happened to Hayden Hurst? Hayden Hurst is not with them anymore, right?
No, he's on the Bengals, I believe.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst is okay. Yeah, I realized that. Cordell Patterson, running back, non-injury related. He was limited Thursday. Had no status for Friday. He's going to play, obviously, and that is pretty much their only guy that we have to worry about.
Exactly.
And like I said, like you said, excuse me, Jahan Dotson may be returning punts. I saw JP Finley kind of confirmed it, but I'm not sure. I don't want to just go off that. But he said, he said Dotson to return punts, but I don't know if they decide to go Danny Johnson route just because he's not as important to this team as the Jahan Dotson. But at the same time, he definitely is important now with Benjamin St. Juice being out. I think they activated Alex Erickson to the active roster, so he may be the one that does it. But it is interesting to see. I definitely want to see. I would like to see some Jahan Dotson back there at punt return, to be honest with you. But if it's all for him staying safe and being healthy, I don't want to rush him or put him out there. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Couple questions. Someone asked. Drayon Scott says, "Do y'all think that Cole Holcomb's going to get re-signed?" He's a guy that I feel like is definitely a guy that they'll love to have him back, but they're not going to rush. They're not going to go all in and give him what he wants. If Cole Holcomb wants to come back at a reasonable price, they'll sign him. But if not, they're not going to be like, oh, we cannot let Cole Holcomb get out of the building. I don't think that's going to be the case. So they get him for a reasonable deal. I think he's back. If not, I think they'll go elsewhere, whether that's the draft or a cheap free agent. They obviously need to get someone else because the other linebacker is not on this roster. David Mayo, Khalid Hudson, any of those guys, none of those guys are starting linebackers in this league. Bostic could be a coach next year. But yeah, so I think that's kind of my answer there. Let's see any other questions. What happened to Wild Goose and Castro Fields? Wild Goose has kind of been inactive, and Castro Fields, I believe, is hurt. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was going to answer the call. I kind of disagree. I think he's a must resign. I think he's a guy that has put in he's one of the homegrowns, and I think he's already put enough out there on the tape to show that he can be a linebacker of the future. I think you must resign Cole Holcomb. Obviously you can upgrade, but why make that a need when you have a guy that you can just pay? And obviously he's not going to break the bank. He's not someone that's going to be out here. He's not a Darius Leonard or anybody. So he's not someone that's going to be out here commanding, or shouldn't at least be commanding, a lot of money. Just sign him to a nice little contract. And I think he's a must. Like him and Deron Payne are must. Like these are homegrown guys that we cannot let walk out the building. And I think we've been doing a good job with that under Ron Rivera, Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Logan Thomas. Well, Logan Thomas isn't homegrown, but Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin really are the two main guys. I guess you can say Tressway, but Tressway got his deal before they were here. So before this regime was here. So I think you got to continue with that trend, man. These are homegrown talents that you can't allow to leave. I think Cole Hogan was a must resign. I think even though he does have his injury that may sideline him for the remainder of the year, which sucks because he definitely, I know he would prefer to play because not only is it a contract year, but he loves them. He loves ball. But I think he already put enough out there on the field to solidify his next contract with the Commanders. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I definitely wouldn't mind having him back. And ideally, if we can get him back for a reasonable deal, I would bring him back. But, he's been early on the year. I thought he kind of struggled. Then he got better as the year went on. And, past years, he was really solid for us. So, yeah, I definitely would try to bring him back. Honestly, Gus Bus, I would probably just keep us at a 4-3 unless we get a new coach. I would probably keep the 4-3 with Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. King Sean, I honestly, he says, I don't really like the idea of Dawson returning punts. I don't, honestly, it is what it is. Like, I don't necessarily think you need to have him there every time, but if you're needing a big play, I wouldn't mind putting him back, especially with Dax Milne out today. Let's see. Someone's talked about Wes Schweitzer. Yeah, Wes Schweitzer could be back soon. I think they'll keep him at backup because honestly, Trey Turner's been playing okay. And same thing with Andrew Norwell. And I like that Wes Schweitzer can just go in for either of those two. So I'm fine with that for sure. Let's see. So it's going to ask for 21 or 20 plus mil per year. Trade him while his trade value is still high. I mean, they might be able to pay Sweat, and it's going to be hard to pay. All four is kind of crazy to be able to do that because Sweat's probably going to be 20 plus, Payne's going to be 20 plus, and then Chase, I mean, we don't know, but we hope it's 20 plus. We hope it's 30 plus. We hope he lives up to what we thought he would be with that number 2 overall pick. So it's going to be a lot to pay all those guys. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, you can still wait and see with those guys. Try to hold on to Sweat a little bit longer to just make sure Chase is that guy, and then maybe you can trade him. But I like Sweat as well, so they've got a lot of things to decide this offseason. But if they are a team that doesn't have a guy that's making 10 plus mil at quarterback, they'll be able to afford these guys a little bit more in terms of Allen, Payne, Chase, and Sweat. So, yeah, that's kind of – let's get into the game now in terms of, keys to victory. So, this game is going to be tough. It's a very important game because they've got to win 3 more games on the year, in my opinion, at least to make the playoffs. You got to win 3 more games. So, this game is probably this or the Giants games are the easiest games on the schedule. So, you got to win these games. You just have to. Juan, you got any keys to victory for this game?
Before I get to the keys to victory, can I say I'm nervous about this game. Like I really am. I know I may be overthinking it, but I'm really nervous about this game. I was confident at first, but when we put out that picture of us saying like it's a bad week to be a bird, I feel like we kind of like gave like the bulletin board like material and like we kind of put unnecessary pressure on ourselves. That could just be me and the fans overthinking it, but I'm not alone. Everybody else in the context, like now you have to win. Like now you just put yourself in a situation like if you don't win, you look crazy. So I definitely think like we put unnecessary pressure on us. I know we're capable of still winning, but I'm just nervous now. I really am. Hopefully we can get it done because this is a big game. Like the Falcons, we really don't play them well at home. We beat them. We play them better at their stadium because I guess we're able to take it over it kind of. But we don't play them well in our stadium. And then I don't know. It's just it feels. I'm just a little nervous, but key to victory, I think we have to definitely first of all, don't kick to Cordell Patterson. Like literally, if we don't kick to Cordell Patterson, I don't think their offense can do much of one of us. I think the only thing you have to worry about is just you got to contain the run. Marcus Mariota's ability to run with his legs, and then obviously Cordell Patterson able to run the ball. Just contain the run. But number one, do not kick to Cordell Patterson. Like the guy, he literally killed us the first time we played him in Week 4 last year. As a playmaker, not as a returner. Make sure Joey Slides just kicks every single kick out of the back of the end zone and try to contain him as a playmaker. Because then he had like 2 touchdowns on us last year or 3 touchdowns. I can remember one over Kendall Fuller. He killed us. So we got to really just contain Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns last year. It was a mess. But yeah, our kick return and punt return coverage has been great this year, but I'm not risking it against Cordell Patterson. Joey Slides got the leg that where like if he wants to, he can get it out of the end zone 20 out of 20 times. So just do it. He can do it and give him the ball to 25 every time. Honestly, that's fine. We don't want Cordell Patterson to get a 100-yard return like he did last week. We just don't want that to happen. Just in general, we have to be able to contain Patterson. But I like that one that you said right there. And honestly, that's one on special teams. And then just like you said, Patterson in general is the guy on that team that is a good player, at least on offense. He's one of their only like really good players is Cordell Patterson. Like Drake London is good, but like he's not scary. Like you're not scared of Drake London. Like he's good for a rookie. For a first-round rookie, he's good, but that's like really it. It's Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Patterson, but Kyle Pitts is out, so we should be good. So just do what you can on Patterson. I like this matchup because they're good at running the football, and we are amazing at stopping the run. So we should be good. And Chase Young coming back, if he does play, like last year in terms of pass rushing, he was not very good, but he was still very good as a run defender. So that will help as well. Let's see. DeAndre Taylor, appreciate the $5 donation. Says Patterson had 3 touchdowns last season, and we still got the dub. I'm not too concerned with this game. We're turning up FedEx. Got to get that win. And yeah, it's a Sean Taylor game. They're putting the statue there, and Sean Taylor's family's there. I saw today on, I think it's Insta or Twitter. I can't remember. They're posting a picture of Sean Taylor's daughter and fiance, I believe, and I think Gabe Taylor, Sean Taylor's brother, will be at the game as well. So should be a cool moment. And good thing they announced it actually in July, right? So people had more time to actually get there. But yeah, Patterson is the one you got to contain and just do what you can. I don't see him killing us necessarily in the run game. And honestly, I heard a stat this week that he only has like 8 catches on the year. So they really haven't been using him as a receiver, and that's probably because of Mariota. But still, maybe you don't have to, you don't have to worry about him as a pass catcher. Just stop him as a runner, and you should be good to go. Appreciate that, DeAndre. And yeah, if we win this game, that's 3 in a row. What is it? 6 out of the last 7. I mean, it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype. So, Juan, you got any other keys to victory?
Yeah, we did an offensive one and a special teams on that, not just left. Why not continue the defensive one? Secondary, so got to continue to play better. I mean, I think this is a game, even without Benjamin St. Juste, this is a game we can dominate because they just like Houston, they really don't have any weapons. Now, granted, unlike Houston, they literally had no weapons. I mean, I guess Brandon Cooks and Damian Pierce, we did a good job of slowing them down. Now, Atlanta has some type of weaponry, right? But at the same time, it's not a lot. So I think this is another game where Washington secondary is going to have to step up, and I think they can actually take over this game, whether it's Kendall Fuller with another great interception or defensive performance versus Jake London, Bobby McCain, Cameron Curl, Derek Forrest, everybody. The secondary, this could be another game for them, and whether it's going to be Danny Johnson or Christian Holmes alongside Kendall Fuller, one of those guys are going to have to step up, and I think that we're up for the task. And if we want to have a successful day on the defensive side of the ball, secondary is going to have a big day.
Yeah, for sure. And, got to try to get another interception. They've been doing it really well. Derek Forrest back-to-back weeks with an interception. Hopefully he can keep it going. He's been playing really, really well. And yeah, Kendall Fuller as well. He's been playing well. So secondary's got to step up, and I think we got to keep Marcus Mariota in the pocket. Keep him contained, play discipline. Don't let him beat you with his legs, like you said, and get a bunch of yards running the ball, because he's not really going to beat you passing the ball. Honestly, he's not really going to beat you. He's not an elite thrower of the football, but he can run the ball. He can run the ball really well. So you got to make sure you're doing what you got to do. Even though it was kind of garbage time, we did let Davis Mills run the ball on us a couple of times, and Marcus Mariota is much faster and stronger than Davis Mills. So yeah, you can't let that happen to you, and you got to make sure you either keep him in the pocket or have someone just a linebacker kind of on him, like a QB spy. That's what I think they got to do. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of my other key to victory. And I'm trying to think on offense. I made a video about this, and you guys can check it out after the stream, kind of talking about what I think the Washington Commanders need to do on offense, a change I think they need to make. And no, it's not a quarterback change or anything like that, but it's get Terry McLaurin the football in the red zone. Juan, I don't know if you saw my video or my tweet, but I want you to guess how many red zone targets Terry McLaurin has this year.
3.
No, he has 6.
Oh.
6, but that ranks tied for 47th with like 5 other guys. So that's bad, because Terry's your best offensive player. And I don't care if he's being double teamed or whatever. Terry still needs to get the ball in the red zone. There's last year, he was ranked 51st, I believe, in red zone targets with 9 on the year. He needs to get more, guys. He needs to get more. He's your best player. And I posted that tweet, and someone was like, well, he's not a physical route runner. He can't catch the ball over the middle. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The man makes contested catch after contested catch. I don't know if you guys remember, but against the Texans, he ran a slant route, and the guy was all over him, and he made a tough catch. That was a tough catch. The guy was on him, and he can do that in the end zone, and that's a touchdown. I think they need to give him the ball more, and just in general, give Terry McLaurin the ball more. 8+ times in the game. Last week, they gave him 5 targets, I believe, in the first half, or whatever, 6 targets. That's fine. They in the second half, really, they didn't really pass the ball, so that's fine with me. But they got to give Terry McLaurin the ball more.
Yeah, and I agree. I definitely think Terry McLaurin is a guy that obviously, and I'm tired of honestly saying this because we talk about it so much. And I think Michael Strahan and all of the Fox guys, they did a good job of basically saying it, putting it on notice. Terry McLaurin, if he played in Dallas, New York, those big cities, and with people that value their playmakers, or just with a better quarterback situation, Terry McLaurin will probably be up there when you talk about Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be better than those guys, but I think he would probably be in that discussion, at least if he had better quarterback play. But we've been saying this for years. Really tired of it. Scott Turner, I understand a lot. Some guys, some people aren't done with him. I don't care if he has good games from here on out. I'm done with him, bro. It's not. He makes it harder than what it has to be. It's not that hard to get your playmakers the ball. And I think he does a poor job with his schemes and with his ability to call plays. I really do, and I'm done with him. I think we need to find a way to get a new offensive coordinator. I know we're not going to. I know Ron Rivera is loyal to his guys, and he's going to be here. But I hope we can find another guy to replace Scott Turner, because anybody else, not anybody else, but I know there's somebody else that's licking their chops to get an opportunity to use these weapons that we have, because we don't do as good as we should with these guys, in my opinion. Like Jahan Dotson, I know that's not on Scott Turner fully, but Jahan Dotson hasn't been. I know he's been hurt, but even when he's out there, he barely gets any kind of action. But
yeah, and honestly, I'm interested to see Jahan this week, because against the Eagles, I think he played 30% of the snaps, something like that. Last week, I don't know what the percentage is, but I still think he was a little bit limited. And also, they didn't throw the ball in the second half. They barely threw the ball. So this week, in my opinion, is the real test to see how Jahan Dotson looks coming back, and honestly, how he looks with Heineke. Because I feel like this game he will be 100%, like 100% will play all the snaps he's able to play. They'll play him, and I think he'll be good. So I'm interested to see. But yeah, he's definitely not been as good as he was the first couple weeks, the first 4 weeks where he had 4 touchdowns. Last week he had like 1 catch. I think the same thing the week before. So, and he was open though on another pass where Heineke kind of threw a little bit too much on the outside. And yeah, I agree, Gus Bus. The slant pass with Terry is as safe as a run up the middle with B Rob, but with more ability to break open. Give Terry the ball. It doesn't matter. He is your best offensive player. He can win his routes. He can do really well after the catch. He can moss people. So it does. There's many ways you can do this. Just give him the ball, and he will do the rest. So I mean, those are kind of my keys to victory. I didn't do a preview video, so I kind of came up with a lot of these on the spot. Do you have any other keys to victory? You talked about not giving the ball, not kicking the ball to Cordell Patterson, targeting him on defense. That's the guy that you have to focus on. You talked about playing better in the secondary. I talked about containing Marcus Mariota in the pocket, maybe having a guy QB spying him, and then give Terry McLaurin the ball. I think that's it. Any other ones you have?
I mean, yeah, I could say the last one would be to win the field position. Tress Way didn't have his best day last week. He really struggled last week, in my opinion. So if we could find a way to win the field position battle, flip the field every time we have to punt, I think we could be in good position. As long as we don't allow Atlanta to have good field position or have any explosive plays, we'd be in good position to win the game. If we can keep them, if we have to punt, let's hope it's not a lot. Or it would be amazing if we didn't have to punt the whole game. But if the times he do has to punt, let's hope that that he flips the field and he pins them inside their 5, inside their 10, 15. Tressway has to have a better day. And I don't know if that shoulder injury was bothering him, which I don't know. Possibly it could have been the reason why he wasn't as sharp as last week, but he has to be better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. For the most part, he's been good this year, but he has had a couple games where it's like, okay, that's not the same guy for sure. But yeah, those are kind of keys to victory. And yeah, while we're here, we got 85 plus people in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. I know one of you guys is not subscribed to both me and Juan. It takes 1 second. Just click that subscribe button under my channel. Hit the name on the title, Juan Gotti Talking Sports, and it'll take you to his channel and subscribe. It takes 1 second, so really would appreciate that. And I know, Juan, you got the top of the morning show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune into that. So let's get into our score predictions for this game. You want to go first? Because I honestly still haven't came up with mine.
Yeah, I'll go first. Even though I'm nervous about this game, and I really don't have a good feeling about it, I'm still gonna say Washington wins. I'm gonna say 27 to 22. Washington wins. Another close game. But yeah, so that's my score prediction.
All right, I'm gonna go. Dang, I'm gonna go 23 to 17. 23 to 17 Washington. I think our defense is gonna play well, and our offense will do the job. And I didn't talk about this, but keep running the football. That's another key to victory. Like, just keep doing it. It's been helping us in terms of the clock battle. And Gibson Robinson have been solid. Just try not to run straight at Grady Jarrett because that's their best player on defense. That's their best player. Him and Cordell Patterson, those are the best 2 players in the team. So don't run right at him. And yeah, Brian just put Juan's channel link in there, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. So that's kind of my prediction. 23-17 Washington Commanders. That means what? They scored 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals. And hey, I don't care how it happens. Get a W, move to 7-5 on the year, and then you play 2 games against the Giants. Those are the most important games of the year, guys. If they sweep the Giants, like that means they're going to be at 9. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, right? Of course. But if they sweep the Giants, they're at 9-5 on the year. That probably, I'm not I don't know. I don't want to guarantee it, but nine wins with sweeping the Giants. That's the key. 9 wins in general. I think I looked at it and it's like a 59% chance of making the playoffs. But if you sweep the Giants while doing so, then you probably are guaranteed to make the playoffs because that's the team you're really competing with, them and the Seahawks. So I'm going to look at it right now because I have a site. It's called 538, and they kind of do the projections for you guys. You can just put in the results and see what happens. Like right now, it says we have a 52% chance of making the playoffs. If we win against the Falcons, win against the Giants, I'll do this later and tell you guys, just so we can see. But yeah, those games are going to be really, really important. And if we don't win this game, it's a must. Both games are must wins against the Giants. Philip, really appreciate the $10 donation. It says 23-17. I agree with Juan. We need to target Terry more in the red zone. 100%. Need to give Terry the ball in the red zone. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. He's underutilized in the red zone. 6 targets out of what? I mean, he's the 47th ranked player in terms of targets in the red zone. He needs to be targeted more in the red zone and give him the ball, and good things will happen. And it makes his stats look a little better too. Like, I'm not a huge stats guy in terms of like, I mean, I don't know. I want the players that deserve to get paid and look good compared to other receivers to get rewarded. And I think Terry deserves to get a couple of touchdowns. So that's just me. But yeah, 23-17, that's my prediction as well. And hopefully it happens. But yeah, what are your thoughts on kind of not only this game, but the importance of the Giants games as well?
Yeah, this game is very important. And again, I don't want to overlook the Giant or the Falcons at all because they're definitely still pretty much alive. Like the Seahawks are now right above us, the 7th seed, and they're literally like right behind us. Okay, so they're what 5-6. So they're right there. Okay, they're very much have a chance to make it to that wild card spot. So they're going to be playing hard. We can't overlook these guys. But assuming, let's just say we win. Yeah, you're definitely right. The Giants game is important. I think both games is important. Okay, we need to find a way to beat the Giants because at this point they are just trying to hang on and they're trying to play for their coach because they were a Cinderella story. They were nice to have at the beginning of the season of all those wins, but you knew at some point it was going to run out, and it looks like it's starting to. You already had a roster that wasn't that talented in the first place, so you cope that with injuries. Now look what you got. So we have to find a way to take advantage of the Giants. They're going to be banged up. They already aren't as talented as their record says they are. So we got to find a way to not only beat them at the Meadowlands or in New Jersey, but when we come out of the bye, we got to find a way to beat them here too. So we have these next games are the most important. I think the whole schedule is more important, but the next, I would say 4 games is the most important of them all.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I mean, get those wins, and you're basically in the playoffs. 9 wins with a sweep against the Giants really gets you a good shot. And honestly, the Browns game is going to be tough with Watson back. That's going to be tough. The 49ers game is going to be tough. And the Cowboys, if you look at the Cowboys, that's going to be a tough game. But it's week 18, and there's a very good shot that the Cowboys are playing for absolutely nothing. And that's why I'm rooting. I'm rooting for the Eagles to do well the rest of the way, just so that there's no chance in week 18 for the Cowboys to pass the Eagles, which means the Cowboys are going to be the number 1 wildcard team. There's unless they really choke it, they will be the number 1 wildcard team. So week 18, there will be nothing for them to play for besides pride, really. So they might start their guys for the first half and they'll be backups in the second half. I believe they might have done that last year. I'm not sure, but that's just something to consider. So that's something that could be a very winnable game, week 18 for the Commanders.
Yeah, you can look at it like that, but I'm looking at it like Washington versus Cowboys, winning you're in kind of situation. But which I hope isn't the case. But I think I was looking at it like Washington's already the 7th seed, but if they win, Washington goes to the 6th seed and the Cowboys drop down to the 7th seed. That's why I was kind of looking at it. Like, I don't know what the kind of different type of scenarios are because we're still a ways away from that whole thing playing out. But I definitely see that having a chance to be a big game, but also Dallas really not having to play for nothing. So do you know like all the kind of different scenarios that it could possibly be, or not yet because we're still?
I mean, it's very doubtful that we pass the Cowboys just because they've got a pretty easy schedule. I mean, it could happen, but I think that the Cowboys are 8 wins, so they're already 2 games ahead of us. It's going to be really hard for us to. I mean, we definitely could, but their schedule is pretty easy, so I think they'll be ahead of us. But the New York Giants do not have an easy schedule, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys could be trying to get the 1 seed at the time of our season finale. That's why I'm rooting for them to maybe lose a game or two so that they can't, and the Eagles have already clinched it, or the Vikings. It could be either one of those 2 teams to clinch it so that the Cowboys are playing for nothing. But of course, it will be nice to just if win and get in at the end of the season would be crazy at home with your home fans. You win and you get in, that would be hype. That would definitely be hype. What's up, Will Diggs? Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, man, to think week 5 we were talking draft picks. That's why I believe Juan was the same way. There was people who were mad we won the Bears game. There was people that were mad we won the Bears game. I was not one of those people. I was happy because I was like, okay, it's what was it? Week 5? Wait, no, was it week 5 or week 4? It was week 6.
Week 6.
I'm not rooting for us to tank in week 6. I'm sorry. That's way, way too early to talk about tanking. If we would have lost the Bears game just because of how bad they were at the time, then that's probably when I really would have switched to, okay, the season's over. But at that point, I was like, okay, win this game and just keep going. Just keep going. And that's why I really didn't I wasn't rooting for us to lose that game like some people were. And I'm happy we didn't lose that game. I'm happy Benjamin St. Juste stopped Darnell Mooney at the end of the game. I'm happy the Bears punt returner muffed the punt at the end of the game. That's crazy. I mean, if that doesn't happen, who knows where we are at this point. Yeah, they're going to let us know if Chase is playing tomorrow. So that is kind of the end of the preview. I'm trying to get. I mean, we'll still talk a little bit. Any more questions you guys have? But Juan, did we miss anything?
No. I didn't think about the preview of the game. I think we covered pretty much everything, injuries and all that.
Yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything. And yeah, tomorrow. I mean, not many. I mean, I guess the Eagles are playing, but the Cowboys and Giants already played, and the Giants are really injury riddled. Like, we should beat them, guys. Like, we should beat them, and a sweep is almost necessary. Like, we can still make the playoffs without sweeping, but our chances are dramatically better if we can sweep the Giants and get to 9 wins going into the last 3 games of the season. So I really hope that happen. Yeah, if Dax Milne's the Bears punt return, we do probably lose that game, and we might not be where we are today in terms of a chance to make the playoffs. And yeah, I'm just glad. I think Gus said it earlier, maybe someone else, that we're playing meaningful games at the end of the year. But I want to be playing meaningful games in late January. I want to play a playoff game, and honestly, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to win a playoff game. I mean, the last time me and Juan were alive for a playoff game, last time they won a playoff game, me and Juan were like 2, 3 years old. Like, that's just like that's so sad. Like, honestly, that is so sad. We didn't really get to experience a playoff win, so if that happens, I'm gonna be hype. I might if we win a playoff game and Heineke's our starting quarterback, I might have to get a Heineke jersey, even though we all know Heineke isn't that guy. He's not a great player, but he does get the job done, and the teammates love him, and he's just a good guy. He's just a good guy in the locker room and stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the situation.
Yeah, I definitely also feel like this is a huge game. The Giants game are must wins. We have a good chance to win those, but we don't want to overlook that. We have to worry about tomorrow. I'm super nervous about tomorrow. Heineke, um, he's the best option that we have for now. You know, I don't care about future right now because we're in a playoff chase. We have a good chance. We sit pretty solid. We control our own destiny and our destination where we want this season to go. And Heineke's at the wheel right now. He's driving the ship. Hopefully he can keep it up and he can keep it up for the rest of the year. And we end up, where is it, in LA? In Las Vegas? I don't know where the Super Bowl is this year. Hopefully we end up there in February hoisting Lombardi with Taylor Heineke. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a fan, so I'm obviously root for the best. But he's all we got right now. I don't want to see Carson Wentz back there anymore. I don't want to see Sam Howell because we're in a mix of a playoff chase. Heineke is who we're rocking with right now. I know a lot of us don't think he's the best or he's the future, but he's what we have right now. He's, like you said, is what the team is corralling around. He is playing well. And he's who we ride with, man. And let's go,
Exactly.
Heineke. I'm all behind you. Thomas says, is Chase Young going to play? I think he will. But I will not be surprised if we get to 11:50 and they say, "Oh, Chase Young is gonna be inactive," and
He's
it's
gonna
probably
make his debut next week, like they've been saying every
yeah,
week. Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
be
It's
surprised.
probably it's probably going to be due to the rain this time though, because again, this is the first week that I've seen Chase Young actually really be able to cut and really look explosive off that knee. So if there was a week where he has a strong chance to play, it's definitely this week. But again, I'm not sure because it is supposed to be 100% chance of rain tomorrow. But we'll see. I'm gonna still go out on a limb and say he actually plays.
Yeah, that's my prediction too. And one of the last things, AJ Blanchard says Wentz is so much better than Heineke. You saw what Wentz did week one when he had protection. Give him protection, no doubt he throws at least 2 to 3 touchdowns a game. Well, first off, I disagree with the Wentz is so much better than Heineke. I mean, Wentz is playing. I mean, Heineke, like his first couple games, he was playing with basically the same O line as Wentz was, just Tyler Larson instead of Nick Martin. And Heineke just, and if you look at it, and you got to take these things with a grain of salt, but the offensive line's PFF grade and also the pressure, like win block percentage, has gone down since Heineke has been the starter, and Heineke's taken less sacks, and that just is a testament to how Heineke's able to move outside the pocket and things like that. And Wentz is just a statue, man. He does not move. That's why he gets sacked all the time. He doesn't throw it away. He just stands there and gets sacked. And Wentz has more talent for sure. I think with this team, though, you got to keep going with Heineke. The team loves him, and he plays okay at time. Like, Wentz, who knows how he would play with this specific team and how they're running things. But unless, like, if Heineke starts playing really bad and, like, what's the bet? He's just terrible and he's the reason you're losing games and it happens 2 games in a row, then maybe put in Wentz. But for now, we don't need a quarterback controversy. Heineke's won us, or he's helped us win 5 out of our last 6. So let's keep him there. That's just my thought. I don't know. I don't really. Their stats have been basically identical. So it's just Heineke's a little better in the locker room, and and he can avoid the sacks really.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think Carson Wentz is obviously the more talentedly gifted quarterback, but Taylor Heineke is able to do things that he can't, and that's obviously being able to corral this locker room, have the locker room behind him, avoid the pressures. That's the biggest thing is he's able to avoid the pressures and extend plays. I always say this: if Carson Wentz was starting versus the Packers, we don't win that game. If he was starting versus the Colts, I don't think we win that game. If he was starting versus the Eagles, we definitely don't win that game because those games teams were able to get some pressure on us, and Taylor Heineke was able to extend plays with this look. The Vikings game, I understand we lost that, but they were getting a lot of pressure on us too. But Heineke kind of neutralized that whole thing because he was able to extend plays with his legs and avoid those sacks. So I definitely think he is the better quarterback for this situation. I don't care about moving forward right now because we're in a good spot and in a playoff chase. I'll think about next year when that time comes. But right now, I'm full blown Heineke. So that's what I have to say.
Yep. And last thing, Brush the Force says stat prediction for Chase. Honestly, I'm not going to give a stat prediction just because,
Yeah.
like, he's playing – if he plays, he's playing 10 to 15, 16 snaps. So, like, I mean, maybe he gets, a sack, but it's just tough to do a lot in those snaps. It's really just getting him back out there and, getting him used to playing off his knee. And then the next week he plays a little bit more, gets to the bye week, and then plays more after and pretty much 100% after that. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. So, yeah, that's kind of it for today's stream. And, 98 people in here, guys. Make sure you guys – again, I say this all the time. I know someone in here is not subscribed to both of us. Go ahead and do it. You guys won't regret it. It takes 1 second. It's free. Please do it. I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. Juan is trying to get to 5K by the end of the year. So please make sure you guys go ahead and do that for us. Would be greatly appreciated. And Juan, you want to plug anything at the end? Your top of the morning and stuff like that.
For sure. I appreciate you as always having me on, man. Yeah, like you said, we're both trying to get to our goals, our next goals. And I know someone out there isn't subscribed. So please hit that subscribe. But it's free. Like you don't have to pay for it. This isn't Spotify. This isn't Apple Music. You don't have to pay to be your to subscribe. It's free. So share us out and subscribe to our channels. And like you said, I definitely will take this time to promote my top of the morning show that I do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. It's a sports show that you listen to, kind of like a radio show that you listen to on your way to work, at work, or whatever one activities you do. And then once we get a lot more traction, I'll start opening up the phone lines to have you guys call in. It was just want to be that morning sports show that you listen to, like it's like on the radio. So that is what top of the morning is. And again, you can find me for every other content. At Juan Gotti Talking Sports on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram is where you can all check me out. So appreciate you again for having me.
Yep, no problem. Appreciate you coming on. And yeah, let's get that dub. Tomorrow. And peace, guys.
Peace.